Thank you so much for coming to another video for me continuing to lab to showcase my skills for cybersecurity. In this video, well, first and foremost, thank you if you watched the last video, which was implementing OpenPGP. That was most certainly fun, encrypting and decrypting some emails that we sent back and forth, and a few other things is using applications such as Cleopatra to create those certificates as well. But now what we're going to take a look into in this video is public key infrastructure concepts, right? And a few outcomes that we want to accomplish here: then installing and configuring Active Directory certificate services, configuring your certificate revocation list, managing certificate templates, configuring certificate auto-enrollment, implementing key archival, enrolling for user certificate, and managing key recovery as well. I believe I've done a video on this before previously, but I wanted to reiterate these skills again. So I'm going to do another video on it. So let's go ahead and get started with the first exercise. All right, so for our first exercise, we're going to install and configure some Active Directory certificate services, as I mentioned. Now, Active Directory, right, it allows the organization to build a public key infrastructure, right? So it is intended to provide the following a few capabilities: public key cryptography, digital certificates, and digital signature, right? So what I'm going to do is install and configure the Active Directory services in a Windows domain environment. So actually, let's click this here. I'm going to add these features. So an Active Directory enterprise certificate authority is integrated with the Active Directory. So any root server, the first server for the certificate authority. Now, an enterprise certificate authority can be configured to auto-enroll certificates in the Active Directory environment as well. So let's see. Everything looks good so far. Let's do online responder. Okay. Let's install. All right. All right, so the feature installation has succeeded. So now we're going to move on to our next task, which is going to be configuring Active Directory certificate services. So I got to set up these services with the appropriate settings because it'll enable these services to perform the intended roles. So to configure it, I'm actually going to head here. Let me actually make sure it's good to go with the refresh. Let's see. No, so let's actually configure this, and now I may have to add some roles and features on the other. All right, nonetheless, we're here, so let's go ahead and click these two. I'll take care of the configuration. All right, and of course, we are the enterprise. All right, and the root. Now, the second one I'm going to do is going to be a subordinate. We'll take a look at that in a second. Right, so we're going to create a new private key, of course. We're going to change the key length in the subordinate CA, but I'm going to keep that at 2048. And validity in the real world scenario, of course, it would matter, but in the lab, it does not. So we're just going to keep it's going to keep moving forward. All right, so let's configure. All right. Perfect. Nice and easy and quick, just like I like it. All right, so now we're back on the server manager console. Right now, we need to verify that the AD CS is working for us. So let's actually take a look at the certificate authority. Let me actually refresh. Love a good refresh. All right, so we got an additional flag there, a notification. All right, so let's take a look at the CA here. All right. Let's open this up. All right. So we have a green check mark. So that means we're good to go. Everything is working properly, right? I'm gonna do a few more things with these here later. But right now what we're gonna do is install the subordinate certificate authority. And to do that, I'll have to, let's see. I'll have to swivel over to another server here in just a moment. All right, so what I did incorrectly was I initiated the root certificate authority on the incorrect server. I was supposed to start at DC01. Originally, I got that fixed, as you can see here. Now we're going to install the subordinate certificate authority on DM01, right? So we're just going to follow the same steps that we did prior. You guys don't necessarily have to see all of that. So let's place you on the other side of it. All right, so I'm about halfway through the configuration for the certificate authority for the subordinate CA. So But I wanted to bring us back here as far as the cryptography for it, just to let you see that I'm actually going to change it from the 2048 to about half to 1024 for its cryptography, and I also want to go over a few of the other changes that would be made in this configuration versus the root CA. So in this one, I'm actually going to send a certificate request to the parent, which is the root, right? And then I'm going to select the certificate authority name. And I'm actually going to hit CA here. And naturally, of course, the original, the root is DCO1, so it's going to be selected to be placed in here, right? So just going to keep that here. And then just pretty much just configure. Shouldn't take long at all. All right, perfect. All right. Now the certificate authority and online responder are successfully configured for the subordinate CA. So now we'll redirect it back to the server manager, right? So if we take a look at refresh, we see no errors here, no yellow flags, and that means that there's no errors on the CA configuration on this server. So now we're going to move on to our next exercise, which is configuring the certificate revocation list. Now, what I'm going to do is configure the certificate revocation list as certificate services. Now, when a user certificate is revoked by an administrator, regardless of the reason, the certificate server records that cancellation to prevent a user from reusing a revoked certificate. Now, in a large network, right, typically a larger enterprise, the revocation of the certificate must be replicated to other CA servers to prevent canceled certificates from being used to access network resources. So what I'm going to do first for my next task, I'm going to request user certificates first. Now that I have configured the CA servers, the next step is just to ask for a certificate as an Active Directory user. So I'm actually going to swivel over to Win10 to begin doing this. And I'm actually going to, I don't want to log in as the admin. I'm going to log in as someone else. Go. Michael Scott's ex-girlfriend. Let's do Jan. Right. All right, perfect. So let's actually add snap in. All right, and of course, naturally we want to add the certificates, right? And it'll show current user. So we can do this here. So we can see them in the console, the current user for certificates has officially been added, right? So now let's expand this a bit. We're going to request a new certificate. All right, now let's see here. Do this, let's take a look. Let's take a look at the properties actually. All right. All right, so now let's take a look at the should be here. Open it back up here. Okay. Must still be loading here. Let me cancel this. All right, so since it's not populating for me what I need, I'm going to cancel this out. I'm actually going to do something else here. I'm gonna do a group policy update. Okay. Exit out of here, just open it back up. Actually, I'll keep that. I'll just refresh. That's me. No. Okay. Okay. should be another one here. Actually, I'll just go out and cancel it altogether. No, just start from scratch. There it is. Perfect. All right. So naturally, of course, we're going to select user. And now we're going to take a look at those properties here. So let's take a look at the CA tab. And actually, we're going to deselect DC01, right? And we're going to leave DMO1. How about that? So apply here. Right, perfect. So actually now we can enroll. That was quick. All right, perfect. And we should see certificates here for Jen. All right, perfect. So now she has her own user certificate, right? So now I'm going to verify the issue certificate, right? So I configured that on here. So let's actually swivel over to DMO1 to verify it. So let's actually take a look at the certificate authority. And it should open for me here, right? And let's see. Yep, there we go. We see Jan. To verify. Yep, Jan Rodriguez. All right, so let's actually take a look here. Let's revoke it. No, that's fine. Whatever. Now we see it's not in the issue certificates and it populates in the revoke certificate, right? So now it pretty much disappeared from the issue to reappear in the revoke. All right, so let's actually click here. Let's publish it because we're going to need to publish the revoke certificates to other certificate authority servers. Right. So now let's do new CRL, certificate revocation list. Right. And then we can actually, let's see here, take a look at our properties. All right. Now this displays the publication interval for the new certificate revocation list and the Delta revocation list and recent, it should show recent updates of the revoked certificates. Right. Then we've got the next update in a few days here. Actually, a friend of mine's birthday. So let's actually take a look at the revocation list. And we can see one here pretty much. Let's see. Yep, there we go. All right, perfect. So let's just hit OK to get out of here. So now we can configure a new path for the certificate revocation list actually. So let's actually head here, take a look at our properties, right? Now let's take a look at our extensions and then we're going to add this guy here. And I'm going to insert this guy up there. We have now we see it here, right? So we added the CA name, certificate authority name that has been appended at the end of the particular network path, right? And then we're actually going to detail apply to make sure that it needs to restart. I'm going to restart the entire server. It's just going to restart this particular thing here. All right, perfect. So now we can move on to our next task, which is going to be adding certificate managers, right? So what we're going to do is, let's see, let's take a look at restrict. Let's see here. There we go. We're going to restrict the certificate managers, right? Apply. We're going to hit OK. Now, by selecting this option, just so that you know what I'm doing, I'll be restricting aspects of the AD certificate services administration to domain admins and enterprise admin groups within this domain. But this allows us to move on to the next exercise, which is going to be managing certificate templates. Now, the templates are used by by enterprise certification authorities, right, to define the purpose and content of certificates that can be issued to a requesting entity like a user, computer, or network service. So what I'm about to do is install the AD certificate services and its required components, and then later customize the certificate template properties. So let's first add AD certificate services and certificate web enrollment services. Now, typically, And then corporate network, right? A dedicated server is set aside to handle the issuance and management of the certificates to requested users, of course, naturally, or computers or network servers. So we're just going to add the AD certificate services. And let's see. So we're in here. All right, so let's actually open up the PowerShell. I'm going to close this out. Let's see. It wants to work today. Oh, hey PowerShell, how you doing, buddy? All right, so now we're going to add Active Directory certificate services and the certificate authority web enrollment features with this command here. Right. That's not how you spell that. Right. Take a little second to collect and download for the Windows features here. And then in a second, it should confirm the successful install of the CA web enrollment. All right, so now that's successfully installed, I'm going to install the Active Directory Certificate Enterprise, Certificate Authority, and Certificate Authority Web Enrollment Service. So just like I did earlier, right, I just added the AD certificate services and the enrollment features into Windows. So now, and those services were configured. So now I'm just going to need to configure the Authority Web Enrollment feature. So to do this, I'm actually going to, let's see, let's take a look here. If it lets me type, sorry about the small wait. So let's do, and again, I'm installing the AD certificate authority as an enterprise root CA using the default settings. So let's see, CS. Perfect. All right, so I received the error message, if you want to call it that, because what I did prior in the initial exercise, the first couple tasks that I did in this video, it was already installed, and it's saying, hey, if you want to install this, you got to uninstall it and reinstall it, and things of that nature. So I'm just going to move forward. Now I'm just going to install the Active Directory Certification Authority Web Enrollment with a new command. Let me type here. Perfect. Yes, of course. Do a capital just because. All right, perfect. So it successfully installs when it gives me this error error ID of 0. So we're good there. So let's actually minimize this and let's take a look at this server manager, right? So let's take a look at our CA. Okay. Should open up for us. Then we're gonna take a look here. Then we're gonna take a look at our templates, right? So perfect. So now that we're at the templates, we get to dive into our next exercise. We're going to be configuring the certificate auto enrollment. This part is so much fun. All right. So the enrollment for the machine or the user certificate can be done manually by using the certificates request wizard through the Microsoft Management Console, which the MMC that I used a couple tasks ago in a small organization. So for big companies that maintain hundreds of network users, certificate enrollment can be streamlined by customizing a certificate template, right? So the customized certificate template allows us to set properties like auto enrollment and simplifying certificates deployment to domain users by using group policy objects, or let me like to say GPO, right? So what I'm going to do now is manage certificates by setting the different properties for a custom template, like for security. And it's going to indicate which user or security group has access to the template, I'm sorry, to the certificate. That timeline is going to illustrate the validity of an issued certificate and other properties relating to a certificate template. So first, what I'm going to do is configure a customized certificate template. And with that, I'll take a look here and we'll start managing. All right, perfect. So let's take a look at user here. And of course, we want to duplicate this template, right? And then we're going to let's see. No, I thought I clicked on duplicate. I did. Okay. Not sure what happened there. There we go. Here, there we go. Do perfect. Set apply. All right, and we'll take a look here. And we want to prompt the user in the enrollment. Now, for the purpose of this lab, I also want to note that we're going to use this option, right, that I just clicked on um, for the purpose of the lab. Now, in an actual deployment, users are not prompted by any message when they're automatically enrolled for a certificate, right? So let's head over to the security tab now, and we're going to do authenticated users, which is good. All right, and we want them to auto-enroll like we mentioned and before. So perfect. So let's take a look at the superseded, and then we're going to add, of course, and we're going to select our user naturally, right? There we go. Or actually, let's see. No, he's not there yet. Okay. Yeah, we're going to do user, which is fine. He's officially been added. So let's actually apply. All right, perfect. Yep, good. So now let's actually swivel back on over here. And we don't want to do that. We don't want to include that. All right, perfect. So the user principal name, that's fine. And we're good here. So we can actually close this out. All right, perfect. So um, there he is. Hey, secure user. So now we need to include the secure user certificate template in the list of certificates that can be issued by the server DMO1. So we're actually going to, let's see, I could exit out here. I thought it wasn't in the console. Let's go back here and let's do certificate template. All right, and then we're going to scroll down here to my guy. All right, and perfect. So we just added the secure user template as one of these certificate templates that can be issued by the DC01 server. I'm actually going to minimize this here because I'm actually only going to use it in a moment. Now we're going to create a group policy for the certificate auto enrollment that we've just implemented, right? So I'm going to do this to automate the deployment of the user certificates to domain network users. So I'm actually going to take a look at our tools again. We're going to do some managing. Where is this guy? Okay. I'm on the wrong server, that's why. Okay. Here we go. All right, perfect. So let's maximize this guy here. Let's open him up. Let's open him up. Let's open this guy up. All right, perfect. And let's see. Where is it? Nope. There it is. That's what I was looking for. All right, perfect. We're going to create a GPO here. I'm going to name this certificate auto enrollment. So we know. Therefore, whenever we see it, perfect. Love it. All right, so let's actually, we have it expanded here. Okay, right, so let's edit this actually. All right, let's make this bigger. All right, let's take a look at our policies, window settings, security. Look at our public key policies here. Love it. All right, so let's take a look here. So we see a few different things. Let's take a look at our auto enrollment. We're going to configure some properties there. All right, can I make this bigger? No, I can't. Okay. All right, so let's actually enable this, the configuration model, of course. Now, as we see, a number of check boxes became enabled as a result. So we're going to actually check the renew expired certificates. We're going to update some certificates. We're actually going to display the user notifications. I'm going to apply this here and click OK. So everything is good for auto enrollment. So we can actually exit out of here, and we can actually, let's see, man prompt. And we're going to do a group policy update. And let's do that there. Come on. All right, let's exit out of there. So now what we're going to do is verify the certificate issuance for our next task. So after configuring the auto enrollment policy, I'm now going to sign on as a domain user located in the IT organizational unit and verify that the certificate is issued to the user. So I'm actually going to do a few things here. Okay, that's good. All right, perfect, perfect. So let's swivel over to Win 10. And we're actually going to do that here. We're going to sign in as Lisa Scott. If you're familiar from my prior videos, that is the sister of Michael. If you know, you know. Right, so let's get signed in. All right, perfect. Now, it may take a moment, but we should get a certificate icon here towards the bottom. Ah, here you go. All right, usually it takes a while. Okay, should get some enrollment. Okay, it should be loading up a window for the certificate. There you are. How you doing? All right, so let's get in here. Let's hit next. Of course, we want to enroll. Who doesn't love the certificate? All right, perfect. So the certificate now is issued to Lisa Scott, which can be used for a couple different tasks, right? Like protecting your personal files, using like EFS and sending encrypted email messages, which we did in another video. If there is an existing email server in the network, of course. So we're actually going to sign out and move on to our next exercise, which is going to be now implementing key archival. So now to ensure the recoverability of issued certificates, a CA server must be configured to archive keys or certificates. Yeah, we're good here. Or certificates that it has issued to users and computers, right? So the key archival means that the CA server has a copy of all issued certificates and therefore allows recovery of certificates lost by the user due to a number of reasons like theft of your smart card or accidental reformat of the user workstation where the certificate is saved, amongst other things, right? So what I'm going to do now is set up the key archival by first enabling a key recovery agent and the certificate authority and issue recovery agent certificate to the CA admin. So let's get ahead with enabling. So let's do that here. Right, so let's take a look at our CA. Actually, I should have it at the bottom. Let's see. Yep. How you doing, buddy? All right, so let's take a look at here. Okay. Now, of course, we want to key recovery. How you doing there, buddy? Did it load? Yes. All right, perfect. So now for our next task, we're just going to request a key recovery agent certificate. To request it, I'm going to do it in a few steps. So I'm actually going to, let's see, do this here. Okay. We did something similar like this earlier. Remember, we did the adding. And of course, we want to do my user account. So we're good here. Hit OK. Yeah, you doing there, buddy? All right, perfect. So let's take a look at our personal folder. All right, and we'll request a new one. All right, then next. And then, of course, we want key recovery agent. We're going to stay congruent. All right. Finish. Perfect. Now, since the key recovery certificate is a security sensitive key, as it indicates in enrollment pending, it'll have to be issued or approved manually to the user who requested for it. So just as a heads up there. So we're actually going to minimize this. So now for our next task, so we can issue the key recovery agent certificate. So to approve the issuance of the certificate, I'm actually going to, let's see. Yeah, okay, we're in the certificate authority. So let's take a look at our pending request. Okay, there it is. All right, so let's click here. And of course, issue. Perfect. Just that simple. All right. So let's take a look at our issue certificates. Perfect. And we see our KRA there, key recovery agent template. And let's actually open it up here. Let's take a look at our details. And I'm going to copy to our file. I'm going to hit next. All right. And let's see, DR coded. Yeah, that's fine. All right. Now for our file name, let's do um, admin and KRA, of course, being key recovery agent. Okay, finish. So perfect. So that means the export was successful. All right, so we can actually click OK here so we can close that out. So let's see, I think I need the console back here. Yep. All right, so let's actually import. All right, now it should ask for a file. So let's see, it should be here, but I don't want to take too much time. Hey, there it is. Perfect. There we go. All right, and naturally, it's the store personal, so we have the file there. So we can actually hit next. Finish. So the import was successful, so we're good there. So now let's actually, let's see, take a look here and there. Okay. See the administrator. All right, perfect. So it's issued to the administrator with, let's see, it should say something else here. With the intended purpose of the key recovery agent. I was looking for something else, but that's fine. But I do see overall what I was looking for as far as it being successful for the being under the key recovery agent for the certificate issued. So now what we're going to do for our next task is configure the CA for the key archival, right? So we're going to configure it to keep a copy of all issued certificates by enabling the key archival. So let's actually take a look here, and let's take a look at our properties, right? And then let's see, there it is. All right, let's archive the key, of course, as I just mentioned. We're going to add. So let's there. All right, perfect. And it's been added. So let's hit apply. Yep, we want it to restart, which is okay. All right, perfect, perfect. So now for our next task, we're just going to create a new certificate template enabled for archiving. So I'm just going to create a duplicate of an existing certificate template, then customize the properties of the new template and enable it for certificate archiving. So let's do that. Let's take a look here. All right, let's manage these again. Then let's take a look here. Duplicate. All right, let's take a look at our general. And of course, we want EFS user. Apply. Perfect. And let's take a look at our request. And we want, let's see, there it is. Okay. And that's fine. It's all right. Perfect. So we're going to hit apply again. All right. And let's take a look at our subject name. And we want to uninclude these naturally, right? Perfect. All right. Actually, a little bit too zealous there. All right, so let's take a look at our authenticated users. We want them to enroll. All right, I want to apply. Okay, now we're good there. All right, perfect. So actually, let me get out of here. Let's get back here. And let's do a new template, right? And we want, what did I name it again? EFS. There we go. How you doing, buddy? So now it's another template that we just added. So that is so awesome. All right, perfect. So now this allows us to move on to our next exercise, which is going to be enrolling for user certificate. So what I just did was I just performed the essential task to set up a key archival in the CA server. So these tasks usually include creating a custom certificate for the the KRA, configuring the administrator account to request for a key recovery agent certificate, which is enabled by the CA server to archive issued a certificate and created a custom certificate template enabled for archiving. So what I'm going to do now is test a new user to enroll for a custom certificate that was enabled for certificate archiving. Let's first place our request for a new certificate. So for that, I'm going to actually swivel over to here, and I'm actually going to sign in into someone else here. I'm going to add a new character to our story here. Let's see. Hey, Paul, how you doing, buddy? All right, perfect. Okay, let's get the ball rolling here. Okay, yes, that is fine. Okay, perfect. Come on, let me move out the way. All right, perfect. Let's first add. Oh, excuse me. All right, and naturally, let's do here my user account. Perfect. All right, so let's actually open this up. Of course, we're going to go to personal. We're going to do a few more things here. All right, and next. That's good. Next. All right, and here we want the one we just created. This guy out and roll. Perfect. Perfect. All right, so let's actually minimize this. We're good to go here. So now for the next task, we're going to encrypt the user folder using EFS. So the user, which we just saw, has been successfully enrolled for a certificate that can be used for a number of applications like the encryption file system or encrypting file system, however you like to say it. So let's actually open up the file explorer, right? And let's take a look at this PC, right? And let's see. Let's actually, yeah, let's go here. Now I'm going to create a folder if it lets me. There it is. All right, EFS user. Perfect. Now let's go inside. And we're going to, let's see, create a text doc. I could spell. And I still can't spell. All right. There we go. Perfect. So let's actually type something in it as well. Okay. What's going on here? I guess it's telling me to slow down. I'll do that for you. That's fine. I'm sure. All right, so let's save this. And let's close her out. All right, so let's take a look at our properties here. All right, and let's take a look at advanced. Thought it's going to be one of the tabs at the top. All right, so we want to encrypt the contents to secure the data. All right, perfect. And then let's see, confidential memo properties. All right. Let's see. Security. All right, perfect. And where did it go here? Restart the device. Okay, don't care. All right, let's take a look here. And okay, this is fine. All right, perfect. So now let me hit apply here. Yeah. Now we should see, there it is, a mini lock over the confidential memo text doc. So this just indicates that the document and the folder are now encrypted. So let's actually restart as it was just suggesting here a moment ago. Let's see, update and restart. That's fine. So while that's restarting, I'm actually going to swivel over to DCO1 so we can get on to our next task, is going to be deleting and recreating the user account. So I'm going to test the functionality of the key recovery agent user account by deleting the user object and then recreate it and then recover its lost keys. So let's actually let's make sure I'm logged in under the. Let's see. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm good. So I'm logged onto the admin, so we're good to go here. All right, so let's take a look at let me close this out and let's open this up here. There it is. Perfect. So let's expand this. All right, perfect. And then let's take a look here at this guy. Let's open this. Actually, take a look here. So if we take a look here, see Paul Weston that I would just logged into, actually going to delete him. Right, going to delete them, right? And now I'm just going to test the recovery agent functionality, right? So I'm going to actually recreate a username Paul Weston in the same folder, the NA America or the in America rather than the operations folder. So since I'm already here, I'm just going to right click and then new user. All right, and then naturally Paul Weston, Paul Weston, Paul Weston at Practice Labs. Make sure it's spelled correctly. Okay, yeah, we're good. All right, perfect. And password. Okay. No, definitely don't want that. All right, but we do want to make sure it never expires. So then we can hit finish and we can see that it's been recreated again. All right, so now what I'm going to do for my next task is going to test the access to the encrypted folder as recreated as the recreated Paul account. So I'm going to reconnect back to Win10. Let's see here. All right, so as I mentioned, I'm going to test the access to the encrypted folder as the recreated user account. As you can see, I'm officially logged back in under the new user, the recreated user account, Paul Weston. So let's actually open up the File Explorer. It opened for me. There we go. Opened it twice. All right, so let's take a look here. Let's open this guy up. All right, and let's see this. Let's try to open it. There it is. All right, so typically I would get an access denied message because the first Paul Weston, well, this Paul Weston, which is a recreated user account, does not have the certificate to unlock this file because it's the result of deleting the user account that actually performed the task of locking the file. Now, with this being a lab, for some reason, I guess it did not recognize that. But typically, what would happen is I would have to apply the certificate to the recreated user in order to have access to this to the confidential memo. But nonetheless, we're going to head over to our next exercise, which is going to be managing the key recovery. Now, what we just done illustrated that, well, it should have illustrated rather that if a user account having access to the encrypted file is deleted, it's going to be denied access to the file or folder it had encrypted, even if the account is recreated with the exact same properties as the old user account. So now what I'm going to do is show how to recover an archived certificate or key that was issued to the user and show how to link the certificate to its rightful owner. Now, after this, I'll be able to export and I'll be able to perform an export of the key to a file and test if the recovery key can be used for decrypting a protected document. So first, I'm just going to import the key recovery agent, and I'm actually going to swivel over to DMO1 to begin doing this. So let's reopen this here. All right, and let's see here. Let's take a look. Okay, this is good. All right, perfect. All right, so let's export it. There we go. Yes, export private key. Okay, this is good. Include all certificates. Yep, that's what we want. All right. Let's see. Right. And of course, what we did before, KRA, key recovery agent. Right. Let's see, next, finish. So the export was officially successful. All right, so we're good there. So now we exported it to, we exported the certificate to the .pfx and well, what we just did, now we're going to import the PFX file back into our console here. So because the administrator needs the PFX file to be able to recover the archive keys from the certificate authority server. So I'm actually going to head back to here and let's do some importing. All right. All right, so of course, we'll do here. Is okay, naturally password. Yeah, that was good. Perfect. So the import was successful. So now we see another certificate list. A second certificate has been added to the list. I'm actually going to restore the authority here. All right, perfect. And then let's go to here. All right, and then let's see the requester name. This one here, yep. All right, so let's see. I want to open this up a little bit more. This acted good. So let me actually swoop. There it is. Paul Weston. That's what I was looking for. All right, so now that we've gotten that figured out, so let's minimize that. So now for the next task, I'm just going to use the cert util to recover the archive keys. So let's see. Let's actually open that file. All right. Okay. Perfect. So completed successfully. So now to create a certificate that can unlock the the encrypted file, I'll need to create a PFX file from the retrieved key file. So let's actually do that again. Actually, no. Take this. We know where. What? Instead, we want to recover the key. Perfect. Perfect. So it's completed successfully. All right. So now which means it should show paul.pfx. Right. So now I'm just going to open up the file explorer here. Let's take a look here and here and here. Let's see. What's up? Sure. It looks like it's in alphabetical order, so I should be able to locate it pretty easily. All right. All right, so I was finally able to find it. So yeah, as we can see, we have the key appended to it. So let's actually hit copy so we can place it somewhere else that's a lot easier to find. So let's actually go back here. We're going to create a folder for Paul, right? Let's see. I'm going to keep it simple. All right. Perfect. There we go. I'm actually going to share the folder, right, to allow the user to access the file over the network. So let's see. Actually, let's see. Their name is good. Let's see. Why? That's good. Actually close. All right, so now I'm just going to test the user access to the encrypted file. So now I'm going to swivel back over to Win10. And I believe I'm still signed in under Paul. So let's actually go here. Okay. Perfect. And as you can see, now that we've connected, we can actually see the file. All right. Let's see. There it is. Perfect. Mhm. So the import was officially successful. All right. So net means I can navigate here. Right. Then I can open this up. And again, I can see the test for the EFS. So Paul would be able to read the contents of the confidential file because the key was recovered successfully. So lastly, just wanted to say that this is now the end of the video, where just want to have a brief recap as far as what we've done. We've now went over public key infrastructure concepts. We installed and configure Active Directory certificate services, managed certificate templates, enroll for user certificate, managed key recovery, and a few other things. I don't want to go through the entire gambit. The video was long enough. But thank you so much for watching. The next video is going to be on performing banner grabbing. That's going to be even more fun. Hope to see you there. Stay curious, stay secure.